Hi everyone, this week we are talking about divestment. So divestment campaigns are mainly university-led campaigns to try and get their universities to divest from fossil fuels. But let's unpick this a bit. So what is divestment? Universities have huge amounts of money sat around in investment funds. Investment funds take this money and they use it to grow businesses which return profits, which give them more money back, therefore growing the amount of money they have. The universities have money divested in a range of things, but one of the things that a lot of universities are invested in is fossil fuels. Therefore, the university is getting profits off being invested in fossil fuel companies. So the divestment campaign is quite often student-led campaigns and universities trying to get their universities to commit to removing their investments in fossil fuel companies, and depending on other things, sometimes they have extra conditions added on, but the main thing is to take university money out of fossil fuel companies. So why is this campaign kind of specifically focused at universities? Universities are institutions that exist for the public good, and therefore it's just completely morally unacceptable that they are committing these crimes by investing in these things that are ruining our future. Universities are all about education, and education is for the future. So if the places that are educating us are compromising our future at the same time, then what kind of world do we live in? Also, a lot of these student-led campaigns focus on decolonisation as part of this. So a lot of university money, especially in the big universities, stems from big investments dating back to the age of the slave trade, and a lot of this money and wealth that universities have comes from the empires and slave trades and these big donations that happened hundreds of years ago. And if this money is the money that's still being used and invested in fossil fuel companies, then we haven't moved anywhere, because we're using this money that we got from exploiting other people through colonialism and imperialism, and we're taking that and we're using it to further deplete their resources, because the climate crisis will most affect those in vulnerable areas, in areas that do have less wealth because of the actions of the West. What progress has been made with this movement? Due to student pressure, over half of UK universities have already divested from fossil fuels. I think there's 82 universities that have divested already, and also out of the Russell Group universities, which if you're not sure, in the UK they're a kind of the group of the oldest universities that exist, I think. Only 2 of those haven't divested. One is Imperial College London and the second one is Birmingham University, which is where I'm at and why I'm kind of passionate about divestment. So what can we do to help these? One of the main things you can do is put pressure on universities publicly, whether it's through their social medias, through question and answers they do, through question and answers that staff members do, through commenting on their videos, through commenting on their posts, at every possible opportunity, especially student surveys when they ask students what they think of the university. Bring up the fact that the university hasn't divested, or if they have divested, ask them whether they've completed their commitment to divest, whether they're invested in anything else unethical. Hound them on it, make it an issue. The more we talk about it, the more press it's going to get, and the worse it's going to be on our universities for the fact that they haven't divested. You can also search universities on the People on Planet website, and it will tell you roughly how much they think these universities have invested in fossil fuels, and it will also tell you what campaigns are running and what they've committed to. People on Planet is a great resource, and it can help you understand what's maybe already going on at your university. Other places to look are if your university have a climate society, if they have an XR group. I know at Birmingham, XR UOB are the main pushers on the divestment campaign. Even talking to your student union or your guild, they might have some knowledge of what campaigns are being run already. If the campaigns don't exist yet and you want to start that campaign, contact People on Planet. They're the people who can give you all of the resources and help you need to start. Other ways you can support signing petitions, writing about it if you write in newspapers, talking about it on your social media, sharing stuff on your social media, like attending student protests. All of these things that publicly put pressure on universities are so useful to helping divestment campaigns happen. And just a little side note to mention at the end that divesting from fossil fuels is not the only kind of divestment that campaigns are pushing for. So fossil fuel divestment is the big one and the one that's talked about the most, but there are lots of other investments that may be unethical. Most of them they opt out of automatically, such as tobacco and arms, but there are a lot that slip under the radar, so companies that might be profiting off the apartheid in Israel and Palestine, companies that profit off prison expansion, things like that. So there are other divestment campaigns, if you see them, that aren't directly related to fossil fuels. It's all about just removing money from unethical businesses. I hope that has kind of helped you understand a bit of why divestment is important and what it is and how you can help. It's just meant to be a quick, short intro to it. There are lots of webinars that you can read that have much more in-depth explanations of how and why and the process of doing it. This hopefully has sparked your curiosity and made you think about it a little bit more.